Hi, this is Deborah with this, that, and the other because I talk about this and that and the other. Okay, I feel like the last video had so much information, had so much this, that, and the other that it was a little confusing. So I'm going to deep dive into supplements today. So maybe I'm just talking about that and not this and the other. I don't know. We'll see. I might talk about the other. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm taking and why you should research why you're taking supplements. So I found out not too long ago that I had higher iron. As I did more of a deep dive into that, it wasn't a big deal and I didn't have to worry about it. But I realized I don't need to be taking supplements with iron. So make sure that the supplements you're taking are doing what they are supposed to do. Now, some packaging out there is very attractive and easy to supplement. For example, maybe a powder that you put in your water, you can just drink your supplements. So make sure that you really look at all of your supplement ingredients to make sure you're not double doing it. Maybe you have a multivitamin that has something in it, but then you're also taking that as a supplement too, and then it might be too much. I don't know. So just make sure that not only are you taking the right supplements for you, but you're not spending more money on two supplements that are doing the exact same thing, and that also the delivery system of your supplements is doing what you're supposed to do. And I'll talk to you about that in just a second. So some creative marketing and people that have money for marketing, for example, and I am not, by the way, I am not a doctor. I am a registered dietitian, but I am not giving you any medical advice. I am also not getting paid by anyone or anything like that. I'm just giving you some samples of some things that I have and why you need to research and do a deep dive into what you have. So this, I love what this looks like. This is Happy Aging, and it's called a longevity shot. What is a longevity shot? Well, it almost tastes like the wine that you have when you have communion, like grape juice. This is resveratrol, and it also has something called NAD support. And let me talk about NAD in just a second. But it has a couple of different items in it. Now, what resveratrol is very good for an anti-inflammatory. And okay, that was a little pause. I had to get my dog. He wanted to go outside. So what I was saying, that this resveratrol has liposomal delivery. So what that means is it's packed in like a fat, we'll just call it a fat pocket, and your body's able to absorb that better. So how does it compare to regular resveratrol? That's what I would suggest you going in and doing the research. This particular resveratrol, let me look at the label here. It is liposomal and it only has 200 milligrams of resveratrol. That's per bottle. And because it's liposomal delivery, does that mean it gets in better than a supplement that's just resveratrol and a regular, you absorb it like you normally would without a liposomal delivery, and you're not getting everything that you should? Here's another example. I have resveratrol and it's 1,000 milligrams of trans resveratrol. And does that mean it also has some other ingredients too? So I got both of these because I wanted to see which one I would take. For example, if you don't want to take a pill and you would rather drink it, then this may be better for you. This is also liposomal delivery, which means you absorb it more, but it only has 200 milligrams, whereas this trans resveratrol has 1,000 milligrams. So take a look at how many milligrams it has. Also, like I said, this has liposomal delivery. This is trans resveratrol. The delivery is better than a regular resveratrol, but is it as good as liposomal? I don't know. That's some of the stuff you have to kind of look at. So just because something's popular and it has the supplement you want doesn't mean it has the most milligrams and it's absorbed very well. So take a look. I'm not giving, like I said, I'm not giving advice because there's so many supplements out there, but I would definitely take a look at liposomal and sublingual. Some of those things are better absorbed than just a pill because the pill goes through the gut. And if you have liposomal delivery, meaning it's in that fat little pocket, it bypasses that gut kind of breakdown and goes to where, and it's absorbed better, I should say. Okay, the next thing, and I'll just show you a little bit of some other things. So glutathione is also really important. So I will sometimes go back and tell you what we talked about because I talk about a lot of things, and so I don't want to forget about what we just talked about. So I'm probably going to talk about 3 or 4 different supplements today. So hopefully we can keep that on track. And I'm going to talk about glutathione. Glutathione, I'm going to read right from just Google searching glutathione. Let's go ahead. Glutathione is an essential antioxidant that our body relies on. And it's commonly referred to as a master antioxidant. So it's super important, but it's also hard to absorb. So just because you're taking it doesn't mean you're absorbing it. Also, something called NAC, which is another antioxidant, but it's a precursor to glutathione. So glutathione actually you make in the body. If you take NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, you've probably seen NAC somewhere, it's a precursor to glutathione. So once it's in the body, it will make and increase your glutathione for you. Do you need both of those? Well, that's something I don't know. So, for example, I had these 2 items, okay? Again, I'm not telling you which to take or not. I had something called Self, C-E-L-L-F, as you can see. It has glutathione, CoQ10, and PQQ. All 3 of those work synergistically in the body. And also, by the way, it is a liposomal delivery, which means I'm going to absorb this better. Then I also have a glutathione. This absorption, this is just a little bit, it's the same thing. Do I need them both? Probably not. I did someone gave me this, so probably not. If I'm taking NAC and glutathione together, 2 different supplements, I probably don't need that either. So with glutathione, sublingual and liposomal delivery is the best. So, by the way, these taste awful. You just have to grin and bear it. This one you mix in water and you just chug it. This one is actually... Okay, I had to switch to my other camera. I've reached the maximum limit on the other one. So I was talking about glutathione, I believe, and the liposomal versus also NAC. NAC is the precursor to glutathione. They think it's better absorbed than just taking the glutathione, but glutathione is absorbed better liposomally. So you don't really need to be taking both of those. Sometimes you're just spending so much money. So just really look at your ingredients. That's really the thing I'm talking about the most is just look at your ingredients. Maybe make sure you're not spending too much money on the same thing and make sure the thing that you're getting is really absorbed. Okay, so we talked about glutathione, that it is called like the master antioxidant, which is great. And it is composed of 3 amino acids, which is cysteine, glutamic acid, and glycine. It's good for detoxification of certain drugs, managing inflammation, regulating the immune system, supporting the nervous system and pulmonary system, and delaying cell aging. And an antioxidant is for neutralizing free radicals. We don't want free radicals floating around in our body. And the NAC is an important amino acid. It's a precursor to glutathione. In supplement form, NAC is more stable and bioavailable compared to L-cysteine. Therefore, it's commonly taken as a supplement to promote glutathione synthesis. So I'm not saying these are bad. As a matter of fact, these are okay to take because they're liposomal delivery. So these are not bad to take, but I am going to investigate what I should be, where a good NAC supplement is, which might replace this. So that is that. Liposomal, as we talked about, is a better delivery system. I also have this vitamin C. Again, you could take vitamin C supplements and you're not absorbing all of it. Look for liposomal delivery. That's what this is. And you would think, if you remember when I was little, oh my gosh, I know my mom's going to be looking at this. Sorry, Mom. I took a lot of vitamin C when I was younger because a friend of mine had these vitamin C wafers. Oh my gosh, they were so yummy. I would just eat them like candy. But with vitamin C, it's a water-soluble vitamin. So typically you just, whatever your body doesn't need, you will get rid of in the urine. And speaking of that, you want to make sure that some fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, you can't get rid of if you have too much of it. So you want to make sure that you're taking the right amounts of those. So the next thing, we talked about glutathione. At the beginning, we talked about resveratrol, liposomal, trans-resveratrol. Which one is better? This has only 200 milligrams of resveratrol, but it's a liposomal delivery. This has 1,000 milligrams of trans-resveratrol, which is better than resveratrol, but we don't know if it's as good as liposomal. So we don't know if the 1,000 milligrams gives you more in your body than the 200 milligrams, if that makes any sense, because it's better absorbed. That's something that you can investigate. And I'm going to post, and I'm hoping that, and actually I have this chart right here. And I am going to try, here we go, I'm going to try to post that up on this part of the video. So hopefully I get it up here. This is a fantastic chart. And I get a lot of information from Dr. Mobeen Syed. I think that's his name, but he goes by Dr. Bean. He is fantastic. If you want to deep dive into science and research studies, he is your guy. What he talked about in this particular episode in which he presented this chart, and I'll reference it also so you can get to that YouTube video, that this is specifically about inflammation in your body. So we know that inflammation causes lots of problems in your body. So he talked about different inflammation pathways. For example, let's say you're exposed to a virus or bacteria. Not every anti-inflammatory supplement, now I'm not talking about drug, I'm not talking about a prescription drug. This is over-the-counter supplements. Not every anti-inflammatory supplement really hits every pathway. So, for example, what he found is, or what I see on this chart, is resveratrol and curcumin hit a lot of the same inflammatory pathways, meaning it'll give you an anti-inflammatory response, so to speak. And vitamin D does the same. Now, does vitamin D and resveratrol hit all of the same? Not necessarily. So you want to make sure that when you're choosing a supplement, you know that sometimes things work in conjunction. And we know, for example, like a Tylenol and Motrin, you're going to take for a certain reason versus vitamin D. So if you had a headache, you're not necessarily going to take vitamin D, but vitamin D is a great anti-inflammatory supplement, as well as resveratrol and quercetin. Same for omega-3. It does something different than some of the other ones. So you want to, again, make sure that you're taking the right things for you and the right supplements and the right delivery system, by the way. Okay, so that is that. I'm going to go through again. We talked about resveratrol and how resveratrol is it actually hits almost every single pathway. Resveratrol is a great over-the-counter supplement for an anti-inflammatory. We talked about the delivery system, liposomal versus sublingual versus just a pill, because liposomal bypasses kind of that digestion in your gut, and it'll help you will absorb more of it. We talked about glutathione and the different and what that is good for, and should you take NAC, NAC, or glutathione, or both of them, and which way should you take it? Should you take it liposomally, sublingually? Okay, here's the next one. Okay, there's a very popular supplement on the market right now, and it is creatine and taurine. And creatine and taurine work together to help you recover your muscles, activate more, and also to recover better. So you'll last longer in the gym with creatine, and you'll recover better. And I'm not a doctor, so if there's any correction there that needs to be made, just put it in the comments. Otherwise, research creatine. And I'm not saying to take creatine, okay, by the way. So I saw and I thought, okay, so this is what I always do. What does this particular powdered supplement that has creatine and taurine, how much does it have in it compared to something that's cheaper? Is it just a smart packaging and marketing ploy to get you to buy it? Or does it really work? Well, creatine and taurine do work, but what kind of delivery system does it have? Well, there's one that's in a packet that's being advertised. I get it all the time on social media. It has exactly the same amount as this particular one. This is called NutraBio. And it has the same amount of creatine and taurine as this, and this is a lot cheaper. The only thing is I have to actually put it in my water. It's not in a creative little marketing packaging that's easy to do. So I got this because it's easier. I accidentally got this too. I have no clue why. This does have a couple of other things in it, as well as about the same creatine and taurine. This is a gummy, which I'm not that big of a fan of. The only thing I have not researched is powder versus gummy. Which one do you absorb the best? So that's my take on creatine and taurine. I work out a lot, so I want to do well during the workout, and I want to recover well. All I'm saying is don't look at all the high dollar marketing and packaging. There might be something just as good, if you do your research, that's not as expensive. And then I told you about iron. I think I did in this video. I'm not sure that some of my lab work, my iron came out that it was too high. And actually, after I've done all the deep dive into my lab work, it was actually okay, but I don't need to be taking extra iron. So take a look at your supplements. Do you need to be taking extra iron? I'm not sure. You just have to look into your lab work and what your body needs. I also take selenium, and this is because I have thyroid issues, so this helps. So the usable form of your thyroid medicine or thyroid is T4. I have a hard time when, I think it's T3. I don't know. I have a hard time converting my T4 to T3, one of those, or the other way around. So this is why I take selenium, because it helps that conversion. So, you know, my whole point of this entire video is take what's important to you. Look at every single ingredient. Look at the absorption, how it's delivered. Is it delivered liposomal, sublingually? How much is absorbed? Are you taking something that also has something else in? Like, are you taking NAC and glutathione, which you probably don't need to do? That's not in here. This is only glutathione. But maybe you're taking 2 different bottles of NAC and glutathione. Do you need to do that? Probably not. So that is my take, my deep dive into supplements. So I just talked about that. That's it. Love you guys. Have a good one.